But first on Fox, a legal battle over vaccine mandates in the workplace brewing in the Palmetto State. Today, the Biden administration threatened to take away the authority of 3 states, including South Carolina, to handle their own workplace safety environment. The White House says this is because they have refused to adopt rules to protect healthcare workers against COVID-19.
Fox Carolina's Matt Kaufax talked to the labor law expert and a healthcare worker. He has more on where things could be headed.
Good evening, Cody and Tori. This has escalated very quickly. So many dimensions to this story in the last couple of days, with the U.S. Department of Labor saying they're going to do, quote, everything in their power to protect healthcare workers. Meanwhile, people in this state, like Governor Henry McMaster, saying a vaccine mandate is unconstitutional. One expert I spoke to says the battle that could be brewing at the state and then potentially federal level is only the beginning. Attorney John Reckenbile says he believes states fighting against a vaccine mandate for healthcare workers are part of a losing battle.
I think that ship has sailed in the healthcare industry. I really do.
Reckenbile says the current back and forth between certain states like South Carolina and the White House could give way to a court battle as the Biden administration gives OSHA and HHS the responsibility of enforcing a vaccine mandate for millions of employees.
They're going to make the argument that if you don't have people fully vaccinated, then it's created unsafe conditions in the workplace.
South Carolina, along with Utah and Arizona, could face action from the Department of Labor if they refuse to comply, particularly on the healthcare side, where Reckenbile says government has more authority to act.
The power of the purse, the power, the money. There can be money withheld because there is a contractual agreement underneath reimbursement values of Medicare, Medicaid through CMS.
Basically, government could withhold federal money hospitals depend on, but that's just one element.
The science, Matt, unfortunately for people on McMaster's side, all has been upheld in a court of law.
Reckenbile says even as recently as yesterday, where healthcare workers in Maine tried to claim religious exemption to avoid getting the vaccine, the Supreme Court refused to hear the case.
This should never be political. This is about medical science, and the medical science says that this is what's necessary.
One of those workers used to be Lori Bongiorno. She dealt with patients who had infectious diseases for 10 years and says a request to get a vaccine is entirely reasonable.
Not only do I have to protect myself from anything that people brought in, but I also want to protect my loved ones from anything that I happen to bring out.
Obviously, we focused on healthcare workers for this story, but Reckenbile tells me that there could be an even more contentious and hotly contested road on the horizon for those private employers that employ 100 or more people. Remember, the Biden administration wants to get those folks vaccinated as well. So we'll keep you updated on what happens. He says at the end of the day, though, South Carolina is a right-to-work state. Jobs in hospitals, the private sector, they're not affiliated with the government, so unvaccinated employees, if there does end up being a mandate, could be fired at will with no recourse. Back to you.